What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, hit the notification bell. And you already know what time it is. It's time to talk about this Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing. To be honest with you, I didn't hear none of it. And I don't care. It doesn't matter. You want to know why? Because it's funny to me that if both of these guys dropped new albums tonight, they will sell over their quota. Not to mention that, you know, we all know what messed up the music industry. Napster, LimeWire, Kazaa, and a few others to name. Basically, since everything went digital, pretty much the streaming platforms pretty much get most of the money, right? Because see, what happens is you sign a record deal. You get money for signing a record deal, but then you're not going to get that much money off of record sales. You get a small percentage, and then you make the rest of your money by going on tour. And that's by choice. Not everybody likes going on tour. Like Missy Elliott, for instance, she said she didn't like going on tour. So, you know, of course that affected her money, but what difference did it make? Because, you know, she was pretty much, you know, legendary of, you know, in her own way. So let's just look at this. Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Both of these guys are talented. They're around the same age. They're even the same age as me, and I like to see young blacks doing good and getting money and everything. Which means I'm close to 40. They're almost close to 40. So why are they now beefing now? These guys been rapping for how long? Back in 2009, Drake said that "Diss me, you won't even hear a reply for it." Well, it's going against the grain now, right? I guess things change with time. So much for that. These guys are going back and forth. And when I look at them, it reminds me of Jay-Z and Nas back in the late 90s when they were dissing each other. I'm sorry, early 2000s. Because see, you got to understand, when all that was going on back then, I was in high school. So, of course, you know, you and the homeboys, y'all all arguing about who the hottest rapper is. Was it Jay-Z? Is it Eminem? Was it Nas? Or was it legendary Tupac? But see, the thing about Tupac is he was most famous for his interviews. He was real political. You know, his mother was in the Black Panthers, whatever, So basically, he was with all the pro-black shit. So that's pretty much what made Tupac stand out as a sore thumb. And see, in most older generation, boomers and beyond, the silent generation, which was my grandmother's generation, she hated rap. But guess what? She loved Tupac and Eminem. That was the funniest thing about it. And she knows when Tupac or Eminem was on the radio because nobody else sounded like Pac or Eminem. Maybe Chingy a little bit, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. So basically, all this beefing and going back and forth, a lot of this is controlled by the record labels. The record labels pretty much tell you what to do. It's like micromanagement. It's like living in the HOA townhouse. You can't just go up in there and do what you want to do, even if you own it. You recorded the music, but you don't own it. We still want you to do this, and that outside the studio. You see where I'm getting at? So just because you're signed to a major record label, that doesn't mean that you're in control of everything, because you can't really do what you want to do when you're signed to those major record labels. That's why a lot of people start complaining and they want to go independent. Like E40, for instance, he used to have a contract with Jive Records, but he went back to being independent because look what happened. He did his own wine, Slurricane, and all that. E40 is doing the thing. He doesn't need to be signed to nobody's record label. And it's the same thing with 50 Cent. And if you think about it, there's only a few guys that could actually still sell albums. That's Kendrick Lamar, that's J. Cole, Kanye West, Jay-Z, and maybe 50 Cent. Those are the 5 guys that could probably only sell albums right now. Because everybody else, nobody's not really signing record deals like that. I mean, they might do features on other artists' album, but they know there's not really much to gain by signing with a major record label, because nobody wants to be micromanaged no more. And these younger cats pretty much get all the airplay on the streaming platforms anyway now. So I'm not saying that Drake and Kendrick Lamar aren't relevant anymore, in which they really are, because, you know, nobody really compares up to them. So that's the funny thing about all this big. I'm like, why are they now beefing at each other now? You know, that's kind of like old school Kanye West and Kanye West today. Kanye West was cool back in 2004 before he started getting all crazy, right? Like he is now. He's doing that to stay relevant. And if you're a genius, you'll think of a way to stay relevant, because there's going to be, everything has an expiration date on it. You ain't going to be on top forever. Everything has an expiration date, which means your days are numbered. One day somebody's just going to come in and top you. But you can still stay relevant even if that does happen. Some people die all the way out to where, what is he doing now? Oh, he must be broke. Okay, let's give a good example. Who else was big shot back in the early thousands? You had Nelly. Nas was still proficient. Nas might get some play too if he put an album out. It might not necessarily flip-flop like that, but I don't think it'll be so good if T.I. or Nelly put an album out right now and they're just going to top everybody. That's probably not going to happen. I mean, they had their fair share in the early thousands. I mean, I remember when Nelly's stuff was on there every day. That's all they played in the club. That's all they played on the radio. You just couldn't get away from Nelly back then. But see, now times are different. You got him and Ashanti. Even Ashanti can't even sell records like that. So that's how I'm looking at this situation. And until I feel like sitting down and spending time to hear the disses, I'm like, what's the point? Are they doing these disses on their own? Who's behind the dissing? There's always a middleman behind this stuff. These are two high-profile men. I mean, if it's that serious, that's like them saying that they're going to step in the ring and duke out their real problems, which is probably not going to happen because they're too big for that. They don't need to fight. But if they do, of course, they're going to have an audience because we're all hyped up. You know, we don't actually take time to sit there and think what's really feeling this, who's really behind this, the record label executives, which we all know a lot of those people are snakes, but hey, that's what it is. And a lot of people rather just release singles, stay unsigned, and just, pretty much go on tour and do their own thing. But like I said, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, they're both signed to albums. They're both signed to labels. So, of course, they're going to have to go with the flow or else they get dropped. Or better yet, even worse. And that's my conclusion on that. That's just my little 2 cents. You ain't got to like it. It don't really matter. I don't care. Y'all can talk all the shit y'all want to in the comment section. I noticed that a lot of y'all, it's like it's funny. You could tell a lot by a person just by reading the comments that they leave on people's videos. I could tell that most of y'all are broke. I could tell most of y'all are down bad. And I could tell most of y'all have never even been out on your own. So what you say to me or about me really doesn't matter, because you don't matter to begin with. That's why you're sitting behind ghost profiles and just trolling everybody's accounts. This is Kyle Lavelle. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.